Connor's Degrassi Unpopular Opinions.
Hey there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond with yet another Degrassi Unpopular Opinions video. In the series, we took a look at the students of Degrassi mishandling Emma's cause from Season 4. We also took a look at Paige in Season 4, why she wanted to be in a relationship with her teacher, Mr. Olander. We also took a look at Emma and the fact that she probably wanted to be with Sean in Season 4 because he protected her from Rick. Emma and Manny's spat in Season 6, why Emma is justified in being mad at Manny for what happened after JT stabbing. Did Degrassi have to use a bus crash for anything? Spinner's redemption arc, was it the best ever? In my opinion, I'll tell you why. Basically, I talked about Emma and Manny's friendship and how Emma was more of a friend to Manny than you think she was. And I also talked about Maya in Season 14. Basically, that the fact that she needed to help Miles to help herself get over Cam's death. So anyway, there are a few theories I actually came up with that I will test in the Reddit community, first and foremost, before I make a video. First of all, the first one I'm going to do today is that, there's a few, but I'm going to do a couple of videos later on and then, all that. So anyway, the biggest question I have about things is Emma's relationships and all that. Like, as we all know, Emma and Sean had 3 relationships. Season 1, Season 2, Season 2-3, and then Season 6 and all that. I'm going to be talking about Season 6, the Season 6 one between Emma and Sean. And also about Emma and Peter. And my opinion is that Emma was only with Peter because Peter helped her out with her eating disorder. Now, let's flash back to Season 4. Of course, Peter wasn't in Season 4. He started in Season 5. But in Season 4, Emma, had the problems with dealing with the aftermath of the Rick shooting and all that. And basically her going to the ravine to try to make herself feel better. I don't know why. That kind of sucks in all those sense. Pardon the pun. And then, of course, you got yourself the fact that, Emma does seem to get better. And Emma, like in the last part of Season 4, not really a lot of storylines about her, but she feels happy about herself. The latter half of Season 4, after Spinner gets expelled, basically takes more of a feel about other people's storylines, especially Paige with Mr. Olander, Craig and his bipolar disorder, and a few other characters dealing with stuff that wasn't really in Emma's ballpark. So anyway, Emma had no clear relationship until Season 5 when she falls for a boy named Peter. Unfortunately, Peter wants to be with Manny, and Peter tries to blackmail Manny into going out with him in exchange for Manny not having a topless video about her being exposed. Unfortunately, Manny doesn't take the bait. She actually does try to get cash back on her plastic surgery, but she can't get cash. So basically, that was basically to pay Peter. Like hush money. And basically, Peter does the topless video. And, it's distributed around the school. Manny's kicked out of her home. Emma takes her into her home. And then Emma decides to try to destroy Peter for Manny doing the right thing as a friend. But Emma is wooed by Peter and all that. It's like, why would Emma risk herself for being with Peter and all that? Especially when the fact that Emma's stepdad and Peter's mom are in a traced relationship. That's kind of weird. How the Simpson Stone philosophy is that, there's 2 relationships going on the same dynamic. So anyway, Emma is outed as having a relationship with Peter. But Peter actually, to his credit, takes responsibility by telling Manny, I think Emma's not eating anything. We had a picnic and she didn't seem to eat a lot. So basically, Peter thought that Emma was probably doing the bad stuff that Manny thought she was doing. Basically, Emma was getting herself thin and all that. Emma's eating disorder was the result of many things in her life going wrong. Obviously, Snake being kicked to the curb by Spike. Spike having troubles dealing with Snake's infidelity, if you will, even though it was an innocent kiss. Emma trying to be the hero and help the house and does everything. But, of course, Emma's problems are that, all this. And she gets an eating disorder trying to make herself feel better. Emma's lost control of her life. Again. So anyway, yeah, Peter agrees with everything. Emma, of course, blows up at everybody. She blows up at Manny, Peter, and Simpson. She doesn't blow up at Spike because Spike didn't do anything wrong this time. So anyway, Emma goes into a panic attack, goes to the hospital, beats the eating disorder. She's fine. And she and Peter are a power couple and all that. And it seemed that, Peter was enough of a good person to actually have redemption, and maybe he's perfect fit for Emma in season 6. But then Sean comes back into the picture somehow. Sean must have finally got himself feeling better about himself, that he can move back to Toronto and be with Emma. Oh boy, is that going to cause trouble. And it's going to cause trouble because Emma's in a relationship with Peter. But Emma decides to take it upon herself to go out with Sean to the car races and see if she wants to be with Sean. If she doesn't want to be with Sean, she's got Peter. Unfortunately, Peter catches on that Emma and Sean are an item. Especially when Mandy tells Peter that, there's a weird history between those two. Peter feels threatened by Sean. Emma didn't give him a straight answer saying that, who would you rather be with, me or him? Emma didn't give a straight answer. And so Peter took matters into his own hands and basically decides to be with, tries to frame Sean, puts drugs in Sean's locker. Sean gets expelled. Basically, Sean blames Peter, and then Jay decides to have him race for Emma's heart. They have a street race, of course. Peter and Sean are involved with hitting a guy, a pedestrian. I think he survives because Sean would never have seen the light of day if he killed him. So anyway, Sean hides out. Emma basically throws Sean under the bus. Sean goes to jail for a while and all that. And then all of a sudden, it's revealed that Peter put a mask in Emma's locker. It was a masquerade ball and all of that. And basically, Peter said it's for the relationship. Emma realizes that Peter was being evil the whole time and says that don't ever come near me ever again. And so she gravitates towards Sean. They have the bumpy road of, JT stabbing, and then a bumpy road about Snake thinking that Emma's a slut when Emma basically just wants to take it. She does a presentation kind of despite Snake, but to also teach Snake that, male perception of females is not all it's cracked up to be. So then, of course, Emma loses her virginity to Sean. She has a pregnancy scare. Around the time Sean is ready to go to the army. Sean wants to better himself. Emma finds out that she's not part of Sean's plans, and basically she actually contemplates using a pregnancy to try to get Sean back, but she thinks better of it, and she says, no, I can't do that. That's not me. She lets Sean go. Sean basically goes to war. Sean goes somewhere. He doesn't go to war because he's headed off to Afghanistan in season 7. But basically, Emma doesn't have a boyfriend until Damien, and that was crap. But the point I'm trying to make about this unpopular opinion, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, is why the hell did Emma protect Peter in season 6? Anybody asking yourself, what do you mean? Okay, so let's flash back, of course, to the start of season 6. Emma's with Peter. Emma has feelings for Sean as well. Peter puts the drugs in Sean's locker. Obviously, Emma learns that Sean had drugs in his locker and basically wants to break it off with Sean. In a sense. Peter probably told her that too. But of course, they have that drag race. Emma basically forces Sean to confess. Of course, Emma wanted Sean to confess. Because if Emma was found to be aiding Sean, which she wouldn't have aided Sean. She probably would have been in trouble for aiding and abetting a fugitive. Of course, Sean goes to jail. But then basically, I would like to say We Built the City, but that's not the episode title. Is it High Fidelity in season 6, the 3rd episode? But anyway, regardless, in that episode, Emma's with Peter, despite the fact that Peter got in trouble for his drag racing thing and got a lot of probation, a lot of community service, and all that. So basically, Peter is not allowed to leave the house unless it's for school, obviously. Hatzelackles will make sure of that because, that's his mother. So basically, Peter and Emma meet in secret a couple of times. And they basically tell each other how much they miss them and all that. And Emma says, I need someone to take me to the dance. It's a masquerade thing. So basically, yeah. It's like, why the hell would Emma want to be with a guy who's in trouble? I know that Hatzelackles was at a meeting and Peter snuck out to be with Emma. It's like Emma's trying to help Peter. I mean, gosh, that's not the Emma we all know and love. Well, I guess after the shooting, it really reset her character. I mean, to make a point, basically, Emma is actually conflicted. She knows Sean needs a good lawyer, and she knows that Sean may have had something going. But, of course, she's with Peter. She's helping Peter out, saying that, come on, it's a masquerade parade, Peter. We can see each other without being spotted. She wants to help him. Of course, Jay and Manny take it upon themselves to tell Emma that basically, why are you protecting this guy and all of that? He's scum. Sean is the victim. Peter is more scum than you think. Well, of course, Manny thinks Peter is scum and all that. But Jay says, I was there. I saw that happen and all that. Okay, Jay, but why the fuck did you tell Sean to leave the scene? Jay should have been in trouble for that. Because basically, Sean wanted to stay on the scene and help the guy out. And Jay says, run, get out, go, shoot. Jeez, Jay. Prick much? So anyway, yeah, they said that basically, why would Emma still be with a guy like Peter? It says that Peter's the innocent one in this thing. Sean's in jail. That's all that matters. Which is strange because Emma still has feelings for Sean. So basically, they do the masquerade thing. And then they do a raffle. Emma sneaks a raffle in to get money to help Sean win. And the money would go get Sean a lawyer. Wait a tick. If Emma was basically beating up on Sean with a lawyer, could Jay and Manny have basically put something in her head that said maybe Sean was innocent the whole time? That's a possibility. But basically, yeah, Manny talks to Emma and basically said that, why are you with this Peter guy? And Peter said, who was at the hospital holding my hand after the eating disorder? Who was helping me get over my eating disorder? That being Peter. And I always thought Manny said something to the point of, who protected you from Rick Murray's gun? That could also be it. Emma probably, in the back of her head, still is thankful to Sean that, Sean risked his life in season 4 to save Emma's hide, and he did it. And as I said in the one about Sean and Emma in season 4, that Unpopular Opinions video, I said that basically, who else would have tried to stop Rick in his tracks? Toby, possibly. But who else would have given a crap and all that? I still think some students had it in for Emma because of her hypocrisy or lack or fury of hypocrisy. So basically, yeah, maybe Emma realized Sean thinks, and when she talks about Peter, she realizes she should talk about Sean in a positive light because Sean at least saved her from being gunned down by Rick. But then, of course, Manny says that, this mask, it was in your locker. And I said, yeah, of course. Peter put it in my locker. Masquerade. Manny says, hang on a minute. Does he know your combination? Emma's like, wait a minute. And then she confronts Peter, saying that, how did you know my locker combination? I never told you. Peter says, well, I just took a gamble. Emma's like, right. And then Emma basically points at Peter and says that, did you plant drugs in Sean's locker? Did you break into Sean's locker and plant the drugs in his locker? Kind of like you planted the mask in my locker? Peter says, what should I say? The truth. Yes, I did. But I did it for us. Everything I did was for the relationship. Emma blows up saying that you don't see me. We're through. You are scum. And here I thought Sean was scum. But, you know, Peter is real. You are really scum. And basically Peter gets in trouble because Hatsalakal sees him in the hallway. Haha. So basically, yeah. So that gravitates Emma towards Sean and all that. But it's like, you know, why was Emma protecting Peter? And all that. And I mean, this new Emma basically has been trouble. I mean, like, the old Emma would never have been with a guy like Peter. Even if she was fawning over him, basically, she would have known better. I swear, after the shooting, Emma's mind got reset. And she basically was being more boy crazy than cause-worthy. I mean, the only causes she really went after was helping Sean out in season 6, the Purple Dragon stuff in season 7, and recycle that bicycle thing in season 9. It's like, what the hell, Emma? I swear Emma's reset was the worst thing that could have happened because it just made Emma more ditzy and all that. I should do an unpopular opinion about that one too. Kind of think of it. So anyway, it's like Emma helping Peter out. Emma was so boy crazy that she was willing to risk herself to be with Peter. It's kind of like the last video I did. Maya was willing to risk things just to be around Miles and try to help him out, even though that Miles should not have been helped the way he was to be helped. So yeah, it's like, you know, and this is an unpopular opinion, I know, is that, you know, Emma and Peter were actually a better couple than we all thought they were. I should have figured that out too, but like Emma protecting Peter and all that. I know that Peter basically said something about his street racing as a statement, but like Simpson even told Sean, he said that, well, Sean got out of jail. He told Sean that he would have to talk to Hatzalakos about letting him back into school. Basically that, you know, it was Peter's fault. And it gets me thinking, it's like, why the hell, after Peter did that, did Peter not get expelled and Sean put back? Or basically, yeah, Peter get expelled too. I mean, Sean basically said that it's worthless to get Hatzalakos get me back into school. I don't think it would be. Poor Peter, such a jerk. And the worst part is Peter would also fuck up 2 more relationships with Darcy and Mia. Well, Darcy introducing her to Adams and all that. I don't know why Peter and Darcy stayed together after that shit. And Peter and Mia, because of Mia's mono career and Peter using drugs to try to get in with everybody. But the point is, now Peter probably got out of it somehow by basically saying that Emma was the one who tricked me to go to this dance and all that. Maybe Hatzalakos didn't believe him. Maybe she did. I don't know. Hatzalakos with Peter. It's like, geez, Peter should have been kicked to the curb in a sense. But why protect him? Jeez, motherly love. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. So anyway, thanks for watching this video and have yourself a good